With the release of 3.23.1 last week, and the new Ursa medevac, massive changes to medical gameplay have been made, and it seems to be an extremely controversial topic, with many taking to Spectrum to voice how unhappy they are about yet another change to the game, leading many to wonder if Death of a Spaceman is slowly being removed in favor of a quick respawn mechanic. Now, we all know that this massive shift could fundamentally change how the game is played, but couldn't it remove a lot of the consequences when a player makes a mistake and dies in combat? Yeah, it could. But what if this is a permanent change, and one that might be a positive one both for now and in the future that will create even more depth to the medical gameplay? Before we get into the video, I noticed 93% of you aren't subscribed to my channel, and if you love news that's clear and concise and discussing the future of Star Citizen, and enjoy seeing all of the great sim gear and peripherals on the market, then you should definitely support the channel by smashing that subscribe button so that you stay informed on everything going on. Let's reach a goal of 10,000 subscribers by the end of the year. In today's video, we'll discuss how these changes appear to be a permanent change to the respawn mechanic, and how it could ultimately affect the future of the game positively and further enhance the game. If you love Star Citizen and enjoy this type of content, smash that like button and be sure to share your thoughts in the comments of what you think of this controversial change. Your engagement with the channel helps us gauge your interest in all things Star Citizen. First off, we need to discuss why this change was made in the first place, as the community is pretty divided right now between this being a good and a bad thing. Some say that this is only a temporary change just for CIG to increase sales of the Ursa medevac, while others believe that this is a permanent change to cater to the quote-unquote filthy casuals. Now, I'm not so naive to believe that the Ursa medevac wasn't a reason for their decision, but I don't believe that it was the main reason. Let me explain why. As it stands now, Star Citizen has plenty of bugs that cause players to die pretty quickly. And while many of these bugs are slowly being fixed, some still do exist or remain throughout patches. This causes a lot of headaches when it comes down to trying to get back to a location to finish a mission and get all of your gear back from your body. And by enabling Tier 3 beds to allow players to spawn up to 20 kilometers away, this makes recovery from an untimely death so much easier. However, this largely only affects FPS missions due to the simple fact that if your ship blows up, you won't be able to respawn inside of it anyway. Nor will you have any easy way to get into a new ship without being at a landing zone. And as I believe that this isn't a temporary change, it could potentially remove a lot of the consequences when a player dies or is critically injured. Why go back to a station to heal a Tier 1 injury when you can just backspace and respawn in a medical Pisces with no injuries and return to your body and collect all your gear? This poses the question, if the change is permanent, how can CIG balance the ability to respawn in all beds so that there are still consequences involved where players would still be encouraged to get to a proper size med bed to heal injuries? According to CIG, the plan all along was to have medical beds and equipment use consumables that players will need to craft or buy to be able to heal injuries, revive players, and replace limbs that are beyond repair. This would be a great start to creating more depth by requiring players to prepare medical ships or ships with medical beds and further enhance the level of complexity. We also know that there are many other features that they will add to the medical gameplay, like prosthetics and DNA integrity, with things like the quality of Ibrahim spheres inside medbeds mattering, traumatic response echoes or TREs causing your characters to essentially carry over injuries in their imprint, and your imprint viability score slowly degrading each time you regenerate, ultimately causing your character to permanently expire when they've reached the end of their cycle. There are also other mechanics as well, such as wiping, where outlaws and criminals hack medical beds and delete imprints, which will prevent characters from being able to regenerate. Now, all of this information came from the Loremaker's Guide to Regeneration in 2021, and I heavily encourage you to check that out. If you're interested in reading that, I'll leave a link in the description below. So what would encourage players to use higher tier medical beds or to use specialized medical ships that can handle advanced injuries? Based on the previously mentioned Guide to Regeneration, we can safely assume that CIG intends to add a mechanic where players will either need to buy or craft the Ibrahim spheres in order to use med beds on ships, and also stock up on other medical resources to be able to treat many other injuries. It's also safe to assume that the lower tier beds may also have a significantly higher chance to cause traumatic response echoes when you regenerate, carrying your higher tier injuries to the newly regenerated body, and also could cause your imprint viability score to drastically be reduced more than a tier 1 bed. And other consumables will also be required to operate medical beds such as Biotic Corpse Regen Serum, which the cells, tissues, and organs are bioprinted from. This could possibly bring the potential for the quality of the serum to matter as well during regeneration. For example, a lower quality serum may cause your limbs to not regenerate properly, forcing you to receive prosthetic limbs, or possibly even cause other issues when you regenerate, or cause heavy scarring. The medical gameplay in Star Citizen is easily one of the many features that I've thought was always a great one, and there are tons of other additions that CIG can make to further expand its depth and really create even more engaging gameplay with this loop alone. While some may be divided and believe that this is a bad change, or believe that this change is only temporary for a ship sale, I honestly disagree with those views. I believe that this is both a positive and also a permanent change that will instead further push the game to new heights in many ways. And between the original information from Death of the Spaceman and the more recent post from Loremaker's Guide to Regen, I believe that CIG is being very transparent in their goals for the future of the medical gameplay loop, and their intention for this to be the path forward. I think that all of these features mentioned would be a great way to support both casual and hardcore players alike, that will be a good change overall. It's uncertain as to when we will see these meaningful changes be added to the game, but I believe that when it does, we will have an even more involved medical system. The biggest question, of course, is when we may see massive changes to the medical beacons so that players are encouraged to help others that are nearby, and to finally give players who want to be a search and rescue pilot a purpose in the end. Ultimately, this is dependent on a player-to-player reputation system that allows players to give ratings to others who they interact with when using beacons, or player job postings. But as with everything in this game, we'll have to wait and see when all of these features are added. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that like button and let me know in the comments what pieces of medical gameplay you're looking forward to, as I would love to hear your thoughts. Don't forget to join our community by subscribing to the channel, where you'll be provided clear and concise news and updates on Star Citizen and reviews of some of the best gear and peripherals in the sim and gaming market. If you want to join the channel and support the creation of these videos, then consider becoming a member and get special perks such as loyalty badges, priority replies, and soon access to my Discord for subscribers, and special channels for the supporting members. If you want more information on what features such as crafting will bring to the game, then you'll want to check out this video. Fly safe, pilots, and I will see you in the next video. Havoc out.